ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्म पादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hari Om, salutations to all. So, we have seen the introduction as well as the Shanti part, and then the two Mangalacharan verses written by Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji. Now, before we enter into the text proper, there is a Sambandha bhashya that Shankaracharya ji has written, which gives the context, which also explains certain things. And so, before first mantra starts, the Sambandha bhashya is written. Now, today we will also see the meaning of different words, which are many times people, when we don't know, we use it, interchangeably. Sutra, bhashya, vrittika, vritti, vartika, so tika, and what is the difference of each of these? Our Sanatan Dharma, especially in Vedanta, there are a lot of clear distinctions. Sometimes we use casually, we use interchangeably, sometimes we use in fun also. If somebody has said something, another person makes a comment on it, and then the third person makes a comment on them, then say, inka tippani hai, inki tika hai. So what is the difference in these? So first we will see that today, because the karika, so what is a karika, we have to know separately. And this is bhashya of Shankaracharya ji. What is a bhashya, that we have to know separately. So I thought might as well we understand about the other words also. And before we go into that, one basic clarification we should have is between a mantra and a shloka. So mantra is what we find in the Vedas, they are mantras. Mantras are what we say potent spiritual sound formulas. They are revelations. Mantras literally meaning mananat trayate iti mantraha, that which protects a person by reflecting upon it. those who reflect upon the mantras, that which protects a person, or even just by chanting it, and that which helps one to go across tarayati, across the negativities, limitations, fears, ignorance of the self. Ultimately, that is what one has to go across. So that is called as a mantra. Mantras are not compositions of human beings. What are mantras? They are the revelations of the divine to the minds which are pure, which are single pointed. They are the mantras. So Vedic shlokas, if we say, it is wrong. It has to be Vedic mantras. And Upanishads are a part of the Veda. And so the Vedas, when we say Mandukya Upanishad has how many? 12 mantras. We can't say 12 shlokas. Bhagavad Gita has 12, has 700 shlokas. There we can't use the word mantra, Gita mantra. Why? Today we use word mantra for anything, management mantra. That's a colloquial usage when we say, or economic sutra. So we use, we adapt these words and bring it in our language, give it some modern twist to give it an Indic feel, business sutra, you know. Technically, what that word means, one should know, because what happens is in these kind of adaptations or in just some modern uh, what we say context when we want to use it, and then we forget what is there, what was the purpose of the original. That one should not do. So mantra, as I said. Now what are shlokas? They are compositions of human beings written in particular meters. They will have chanda, anushtup chanda, trishtup chanda, so many are there. Shardula Vikridita, like that, there are so many meters. Brihati, like that, there are many, many meters. They will be compositions in specific meters. They are shlokas, human compositions. So Bhagavad Purana, itihasas like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they all have shlokas. Compilation of such shlokas, when it is done specifically, or it may be even compositions. Suppose we say Shiva Panchakshara Stotram. So it has 5 shlokas written by Shankaracharya ji. We can't say 5 mantras there. So here if you see in the Upanishad proper, there are 12 mantras. Then there are shlokas which are written by Gaudapadacharya ji, which are called karikas. On that karika, Shankaracharya ji has written bhashya. On those verses, the shlokas, Shankaracharya has written commentary. That is called bhashya. So now we will go into that proper. Now one more point, the shlokas are written in not necessarily Vedic grammar. So sometimes you will see the grammar, Sanskrit grammar, and by the way, it is Sanskritam or Sanskrit. It is not Sanskrit. Everybody keeps saying Sanskrit, Sanskrit. What is Sanskrit? There is nothing called Sanskrit. It's such a lovely word, Sanskritam, that which has been polished, perfected, Samyak Kritam. That language is called Sanskritam. And that language only, which is that word itself, we have destroyed. Sanskrit. An interesting thing is people who are studying Sanskrit also call it Sanskrit. Habit is Sanskritam. So the Vedic Sanskrit sometimes is little different. Sometimes it won't follow the rules of the Panini Sanskrit that we follow today. So that's why sometimes it is also called Arsha Prayoga. And it is because it's a divine revelation. However it has been revealed, it is revealed. It is not that the insight came to the Rishi and then the Rishi has written it in his language as per his understanding and knowledge of the language. For example, if we say Gayatri Mantra, Vishwamitra Rishi is the Mantra Drashta. It is not that he had an insight about Surya Bhagavan and then he sat and wrote it down. The mantra as it is, Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, is revealed to him. That's why it is said Rishaya Mantra Drashtaraha. They are the seers of the mantra. They are not the kartara. They are not the writers. And some of these mantras which are meant for japa, etc., they will have, so they have a devata, they have a chandas, they have a bijam, shakti, kilakam, like that. Mantras are very powerful, potent spiritual sound formulas. They will create sound vibrations also. And they will heal the body, they will make the mind pure, intellect sharp, connect us to the divine. Many things mantras can do. So, these are 12 mantras here now. Now we go into the difference between the sutra, tika, karika, all that. So I'm going to just share one document here and we will go through line by line. Right. So, sutra. So what is a sutra? It is the foundational seed of a school of thought, of a darshan shastra or of a philosophy. And so the word literally means a thread. In the Gita we have na sutre manigana iva, how the pearls are held, maniganas. The pearls are held together by a string, sutra. Pearls may be of different sizes, shapes, etc., but the string passing through them all is the same. So it is a short aphoristic statement designed to be memorized. And what is the purpose? To provide the core principles of a system. So now see, what are the qualifications of a sutra? Very interesting. Sutra itself will be very small, like Janmadhyasya Yataha or Yoga Chittavritti Nirodhaha, like that. Sutra is small, but to explain the features of a sutra, this shloka which is written is so long. But this is to understand. I am not criticizing it. I am just saying that what qualifies to become a sutra? Anything that we speak necessarily need not be sutra. Like somebody speaks in a cryptic way, does not explain much, then we say अब ये सूत्र आपने बोल दिया, इसका भाष्य बताइए. So anything that we speak with which is short doesn't become a sutra. So what is a sutra? 6 qualities it should have. Alpaksharam asandigdham saravad vishvato mukham asto bhamanavadyam cha sutram sutra vido viduhu. So what are the 6 qualities required? Alpaksharam, it has few syllables, meaning it is not like a huge sentence. Few syllables, alpaksharam. Asandigdham, it is unambiguous. If you open up that sutra properly, if you understand the word, the deeper meaning, if you have the understanding of its meaning, terminology, whatever is indicated, then it will open up actually. Like suppose we say Athato Brahma Jignasa, that first sutra of the Brahma Sutras. Now it is very short, but there is so much of depth in that Athato, which means all the qualifications that are required for a student of Vedant before this Brahma Jignasa happens, all that sadhan chatushtaya and karma yoga one should have done, and guru upasadanam and whatever, the upasanas, everything. Now athato indicates all that. So those who know very clearly, they will understand, acha, this word means that. So it is alpaksharam, very less words, but it is very unambiguous. Clearly it will indicate this is what it is. Asandigdham. Saravat, it is also essence. It contains the essence. And Vishwatomukham, it is all encompassing. Different thoughts, different standpoints also it can include. Like Narada Bhakti Sutra. The definitions of bhakti, various definitions of bhakti, Naradji gives in that. So the word, so bhakti, how we understand, is in one way, but Narad Bhakti Sutra, Naradji gives different meanings. Like he will say Puja Dishu Anuragaha. So for some, bhakti is deep love for worshipping Bhagwan. For some, it will be remembrance. Like that, he will give different meanings. So it is all encompassing. Astobham, Anavadyam, Vishwatomukham. Then Astobham. It is not just having any alphabet just as a filler, like in a poetic composition, in a metrical composition, if somewhere one alphabet is missing, one word is missing, just as a filler, one adds, like cha, like that people add sometimes. It is not in this. Every single word or alphabet there which is used in a sutra is for a particular meaning, and there is no requirement of chandas. So it doesn't have to be fulfilling a certain metrical criteria. Astobham. And faultless. Anavadyam cha. There is no mistake, flaw. Sutram Sutra Vido Viduhu. They will know this as the Sutra. So where is this shloka coming from? In Vachaspatyam and Skanda Puran. This shloka is there in that. Now examples given here, a Brahma Sutra by Badarayana Rishi, which is Bhagwan Vedavyasa. Who is Bhagwan Vedavyasa? And like that, Jaimini's Karma Sutras are there, Narada Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Panini Ashtadhyayi Sutras, like that. These are all sutras. Each sutra, one can elaborate quite a bit. So when we say Brahma Sutra, the entire science of Advaita Vedanta is there in the sutra form in Brahma Sutra. They are also called Shariraka Sutras. Same way, Narada Bhakti Sutra, the entire science of bhakti is there in this Narada Bhakti Sutra. So these are the source. Of course, Vedic mantras are the main source. There is no doubt in that. But the essence of that is brought out in the subtle, in this short, brief, crisp form as a sutra. Then, what is a vritti? The direct explanation of the sutra is the vritti. It will follow the order of the sutra. Athato Brahma Jignasa. So it will follow that same order of the sutra. And it will clarify the meaning of the words. It will only explain. It will not go into deep philosophical debates, discussions, objections, counter, answers, none of that. What is the purpose of this? The sutra which is short, the understanding of the student has to be clear. So a little explanation is given. That is called as a vritti. So it's a bridge to gap the cryptic sutra and the reader's understanding. So what are the features of vritti? Sutrartho varnyate yatra padai sutranusaribhihi swapadani cha varnyante vritti sacha nigadyate. Sutrartho varnyate yatra, where the meaning of the sutra is described. Padaihi sutra anusaribhihi, using the words pada which follow the sutra. Swapadani cha varnyante, and in that explanation of that, if there is some new term that somebody has used in the vritti, then that also will be explained. That is called as a vritti. Vritti sacha nigadyate. The source of this shloka is Parashara Upapurana, also cited in the Shabdakalpa Dhruma. Examples: Vakya Vritti, Shankaracharya ji wrote on the four Mahavakyas. Then this Pratika Vritti on Shankara's works used in various monastic traditions, Kashika Vritti, etc. These are examples of Vrittis. Now comes bhashya. So what is a bhashya? So bhashya is the comprehensive analytical commentary, proper. It can be on the sutra, it can be on a shloka, it can be on the mantra of the Veda itself. It is not necessary that first there should be a sutra, then there should be a vritti, then on the vritti there will be a bhashya. No, these are different terms. Some may have connection to each other, some may not have connection to each other. Like Shankaracharya's bhashya is directly available on the mantras of the Upanishads. Ishavasya Upanishad, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, etc. So, on Kenopanishad especially, two bhashyas are there. Pada bhashya and Vakya bhashya. Here are two commentaries explaining one pada or one word in the mantra, as well as explaining the whole sentence, Vakya bhashya. Two different bhashyas he wrote. So those are commentaries, bhashyas on the direct mantra itself. Then, as I said, he has written bhashya on Gaudapadacharyaji's karikas, which are shlokas, based on the mantra. Gaudapadacharyaji's karika is based on Upanishad mantras, Mandukya Upanishad mantra. On that karika, which is in the form of shloka, Shankaracharya has written bhashya, his commentary. So the bhashya can be on mantra, it can be on shloka, it can also be on sutra. It is a detailed analytical commentary. And it explains the meaning of the sutra in the commentator's own words and addresses any objections and gives clarifications also. This is to establish properly the philosophical interpretation. And this is why Shankaracharyaji's bhashya is very, very important for students of Advait Vedant, because the same mantra will get explained through different standpoints and different schools of philosophy. Just to give a small example, Tat Tvam Asi. Now, when we say Tat Tvam Asi, Advait Vedanta will say that you are that. Tat, that infinite consciousness. Tvam, you. Asi, are. Which means Advait Vedanta says that you are not this body, mind, intellect. You are that infinite consciousness. You drop your individual identification with the BMI, then the total identification of Ishvara also goes. There is only Brahman. Like wave and ocean. You drop the identity of the wave, drop the identity of the ocean, what remains is only water. And as water, wave is equal, ocean is equal to wave, wave is equal to ocean. No difference. So, when This is Advaitic understanding. Now, same Tattvamasi, the dualist will say, no, 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 you and God cannot be one. How? This is blasphemy. How can you and God be one? How can wave be equal to ocean? So they will interpret it as Tasya Tvam Asi. You belong to God. You are not equal to God. You are a part of God. You are servant of God. Now, when a bhashya is given, it will establish definitely that particular philosophy's proper viewpoint. Taking some of these objections. So Shankaracharya has different places taken, the objections raised by Sankhyas, Vaisheshikas, Naiyayikas, then Mimamsakas. There are different schools of thought. Then Dvaitins, Visishta Dvaitins, like that. So the bhashya is a comprehensive treatment, and that's why in this also you will see Gaudapadacharya has refuted so many different standpoints and so many different schools of thought in his karikas, and Shankaracharya has then elaborated that, and which is why Mandukya Upanishad, for this Upanishad has only 12 mantras, but the 4 chapters which are the karikas of Gaudapadacharya and commentary of Shankaracharya, they are ultimate to establish the uh, final truth that Advaita alone is the reality. World does not even exist. It has not even come into being. So all that we will see as we go along. So that is called as a bhashya. Now, why this is important for us to understand is, it is because of this bhashya that this Vedantic school of thought, Advait Vedant school of thought, is prevalent today. If not for Shankaracharya ji, we would have lost Advait Vedant long back. He is one of the greatest propounders of Advait Vedanta. It's not that he was the founder of Advait Vedanta. He is the greatest propounder of Advait Vedanta. Even Bhagavatam actually is written for Advait Vedanta only. But people have forgotten that and got lost in all kinds of other, dualistic interpretations. If you read Bhagavatam, undoubtedly it has so much of Advaita. So anyway, coming back to this bhashya. So this bhashya part of it is, bhashya, the word is this. What does the bhashya say? सूत्रार्थो वर्ण्यते यत्र वाक्यै सूत्रानुसारिभिः स्वपदानि च वर्ण्यन्ते भाष्यं भाष्यविदो विदुः. This is similar to that earlier definition, but there are different words. Here padaihi sutranusaaribihi is there. Here vakyaihi sutranusaaribihi is there. Where the meaning will be explained through the sentences. The meaning of the sutra is described by sentences that follow the sutra, and if it has introduced its own words, the bhashya will explain those also for clarity of the student, the reader. Again, Vayu Purana and Madhava's commentary on Brahma Sutra, this shloka is quoted. Now bhashya is Mahabhashya by Patanjali, then Gita Upanishad bhashya by Shankaracharya ji, that commentary on Brahma Sutra, like that. Bhashyas are so many examples of bhashyas. Now what is a Vartika? So Vartika is a critical study that examines what was said, what was left unsaid, and what was imperfectly stated in the original text or its bhashya. It is a supplementary commentary that evaluates the logic of the preceding works. So this Vartika will depend on bhashya. Bhashya does not necessarily depend on the vritti in the sequence that we are seeing of sutra, vritti. Sutra is there, vritti is there. Bhashya may or may not be there. But if a Vartika is there, the bhashya will be the base for it. Again, it's not necessary that every bhashya will have a vartika. No. What is the purpose? Sometimes bhashya is also difficult for people to understand, as something may have been left unsaid. The bhashyakar may take it for granted that this obviously you should know, but maybe in time, as the knowledge declines, people don't get the right foundations, etc. Then what the bhashyakar would have possibly taken for granted, now that Vartika has to explain that. So what was left unsaid? Uktan, Duruktan, uh, sorry, Uktan, Ukta, Duruktanam, Chinta, Yatra Pravartate, Tam Grantham Vartikam Prahuhu, Vartikagnya Manishinaha. So this is called as Vartika. What is a Vartika? Where there is a inquiry, Chinta. Don't think the word Chinta here means worry, okay? Chinta here means Chintanam. Chint means to think, to reflect. So Chinta here is that. An inquiry into Ukta, what is said, and Anukta, what is not said. Or Durukta. Now again, Durukta here does not mean badly said. It only means what is imperfectly stated, which can create possibly some doubt, confusion. Then this will clarify all that. This will explain what has been said more detailed. It will add if something has been assumed, and if something is ambiguous or imperfectly stated, it will explain that further. Again, this shloka comes from this Parasharupa Purana. Now, example, Shankaracharya himself told Sureshwaracharya to compose this Vartika on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya and Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya. Not that, so in this, the counter viewpoint is not presented because there is nothing to counter there, but only explanation. Otherwise, here many times it's a critical study which will also bring a certain counter viewpoint. Here it is not necessary. This Shankaracharya telling when he told Sureshwaracharya to write on Brihadaranyaka and Taittiriya, there is no counter of that. It is only to elaborate. So it is to expound, supplement, and defend Shankara's Bhashya. Like that, so this is one example of in Advaita Vedanta. Then there's Kumarila Bhatta's Shloka Vartika, or because he was a Mimamsaka. Then Katyayana's Vartikas, like that. There are different Vartikas. Then Tika is a commentary on a commentary. So Tika will be a sub-commentary on a Bhashya. Now what is the difference between Tika and Vartika then? So Vartika does not necessarily go by every sentence of the Bhashya. And Vartika is based on the Bhashya. Tika is a sub-commentary on the Bhashya. So it provides word-to-word explanation of the Bhashya. This Vartika will only give you these three. What has been said, it will explain little more elaborately. What is not said and assumed, it will add. And what is imperfectly stated, it will clarify. This will go word-to-word explanation of the Bhashya. So that's why let us see the shloka here. भाष्ये अतिगम्भीरे भावम् उद्घाटयितुं कृता टीका सा कथ्यते सद्भिः तत्वार्थ प्रतिपादिनी. So the work created to reveal the hidden intent in Atigambhira Bhashya. Suppose the Bhashya is very deep and one is not able to grasp, the common reader may not be able to grasp the depth of it. Like Shankaracharya's bhashyas are gambhira. They are not just superficial. So some places you will find. That's why Anandagiri Tika will be there. On the Gita, Anandagiri Tika is there, which is on the bhashya of Shankaracharya ji. So a work created to reveal, and it will reveal the hidden bhavam udghatayitum krita. It will reveal the what is the bhav of that author, bhashyakar. It is not, sometimes the logic and this tarka is such that people will be lost only in the logical argument, but they forget the intent, the purpose, the attitude, the bhav with which this is being taken up. So it will reveal the bhav in an extremely deep bhashye ati gambhire. Then that is, and it will establish the true meaning of the principles. Otherwise, in the arguments, one may get lost. The tika will help to clarify. And so, traditional definition, Nyaya and Vedanta text, this is the definition of the tika. Bhamati, a famous sub-commentary on Shankara's Brahma Sutra Bhashya by Vachaspati Mishra. Now, one more we will come to, one more little understanding, a different understanding is a tika is a sub-commentary. However, in broader literary usage, it also refers to a primary commentary on a non-sutra text, like a Purana or a Kavya. For example, we say Sridhari Tika on Srimad Bhagavatam. So definition A, what we just saw, technical definition, what we said, a commentary on a commentary. So Bhamati is a tika on Shankara's Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Or as I said, Anandagiri Tika on the Gita Bhashya, like that. Then definition B is this, what we just saw, this broader literary usage. This is a definition B. So a primary commentary on a verse or narrative text where no sutra exists. So Sridhar Swami's work titled Bhavartha Deepika is a primary commentary on the original Sanskrit verses of Bhagavatam. So this is Sridhar Swami's Tika. So in the Puranic tradition, the first layer of explanation of the verses is traditionally called as a Tika or Vyakhyana. Hence we say Sridhari Tika. It is based on the Bhagavatam verses, but uses the title Tika because it follows the verse commentary style rather than the Sutra Bhashya style. So this we have to understand. Otherwise we will get confused, because here it is said it is a commentary on commentary. But this Tika which is there of Sridhar Swami is directly there on the Bhagavatam itself. It is not on some other commentary. Now we come to Karika. This is what Gaudapadacharya ji has written on the mantras of the Mandukya. So Karika is a concise philosophical statement or definition written in verse form, usually Anushtup Chanda. Unlike a vritti or bhashya, which are prose explanations of an existing text, a karika can be an independent work that systematically presents a philosophy. It can also be independent work, and it need not also be. So what is the purpose? To encapsulate a complete doctrine in a way that is easy to chant and remember. Suppose we say Anadimaya Suptaha Yada Jiva Prabudhyate Ajam Anidram Aswapnam Advaitam Budhyate Tada. Now this is one of the karikas of Mandukya Upanishad, beautifully given by Gaudapadacharya ji, that what Jiva has been sleeping for many lives, Anadimaya Suptaha, because of Maya. Meaning he is living through all the experiences but is not aware of who he or she is. But when that person meets the Guru and gets the knowledge and awakens, Yada Jiva Prabudhyate, then what will that realization be? Ajam, unborn. anidram, beyond deep sleep, and aswapnam, beyond dream. So beyond waking, dream, deep sleep. What will that person realize? Not a blank. Advaitam will realize absolute non-duality. So now it is easy to understand that philosophy when it's put in the shloka form. So karika serves as a verse-based summary. What is the shloka to explain a karika? स्वल्पाभिमा स्वल्पाभिधानमर्थं यत् सूचयत्येव केवलं कारिकां तां विदुप्राज्ञाः संक्षेपार्थप्रकाशिनीम्. So what is karika? Swa alpa abhidhanartham, abhidhanam artham. So through very few words it indicates the meaning. Yat suchayati eva kevalam, and illuminate the subject very concisely. Sankshepartha prakashinim, concisely it will illumine. That is called as a karika. So Amarkosha commentaries etc. give this as a definition. So example, Sankhya karikas are there, Gaudapada Acharyaji's Mandukya Upanishad karikas are there. And Shankaracharya wrote the bhashya on these commentaries. So this is the summary. Sutra, primary level text, concise aphoristic core principles. Vritti, secondary level, which is based on the sutra. Brief literal explanation of the sutras. Bhashya is again secondary. It could be on sutra, it could be on mantras of the Upanishad. It is deep, extensive philosophical exposition, giving all the objections and the refutations and all that. Vartika is the third level. Commentary of the commentary. Critical evaluation, what is said, unsaid, what is ill said, it will all be clarified. And Tika is tertiary level 2. Or it could be same as Vartika also, as we saw different meanings, or it could be directly even on the primary text, then it will become secondary level, like Sridhar Swami's Tika. I think there's a mistake there, or I'll have to check. Sridhar Swami's Tika is actually called Subodhini. Here I've written Bhavartha Deepika. Bhavartha Deepika is Gita commentary of Jnaneshwar Maharaj actually. We will correct that. Subodhini is actually the name there, not Bhavartha Deepika. So tertiary, or it could be secondary. And Karika is independent work on the mantras. It doesn't have any of these sutra, vritti, bhashya, vartika. It doesn't depend on any of these. It goes directly on the main. So as far as level is concerned, it will come under secondary level in that sense. Though it is independent, level wise, it will come on the secondary. Why is secondary? Because the primary is the Vedic mantra. Like here, it is the mantra which is there of the Mandukya. So now these are the different terminology which are used. This document is also uploaded on the Google Drive. So if you want to refer and reflect upon it, that you are free to do that. Today we will just go into the Sambandha Bhashya, the first line. I'm just opening that so that you know that this is the one. See, this is the Google Drive folder. Okay. In this we have the chanting of the Upanishad mantras, etc. This is a folder for chanting. These are all the recordings. And these are the below the recordings are the documents which we have used so far. And in this, we have this Mandukya Upanishad with Shankar Bhashya and Hindi translation, Gorakhpur Gita Press PDF. This is what we are using. And this Sutra, Vritti, Bhashya, Karika, all this is given here. other documents which we have used, all these are uploaded here. So you can access this Shankara Bhashya from here. And I had also put up the English translation by Swami Gambhirananji, the 8 Upanishads English translation image also, if you want to follow the English one. So we will open up this commentary. This is the Shankara Bhashya, Gita Press, Mandukya Upanishad. Introduction, etc. You can go through by yourself. Mangalacharan is what we did already. This Bhadram Karnebhi, this is the Shanti part, this is the Mangalacharan, and this is the Sambandha Bhashya. This. So here is where we will start. As I said, I will not be going through every line in Sanskrit here. We will take up the essence, but just because we are beginning today, we are referring to here. Omiti etad aksharam idam sarvam. Om, this alphabet, is all this. Now that is there in the first mantra itself. Om iti etad aksharamidam sarvam. If you see, this is the Sambandha Bhashya, this much. And then this is the first mantra. This first line itself is of the, in Sambandha Bhashya, what Shankaracharya has written is this first line of the mantra itself, which he is going to explain down further, we will see. But here in Sambandha Bhashya, he starts with that. Om iti etad aksharam idam sarvam. Om, this alphabet, is all this. Tasya upavyakyanam Vedantartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam Idam Prakarana Chatushtayam Om iti etad aksharam ityadi arabhyate. So, what does that mean? The explanation of this Omkar and what is the Vedantic deeper understanding of that. Vedantartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. It is the essence. This Omkar and the state indicated by it, that is the essence of Vedant. That will be revealed through these 4 chapters, 4 prakaranas. Agama prakarana, Vaityathya prakarana. These 4 prakaranas which are there, Alata Shanti prakarana, etc. These 4 prakaranas will elaborate this Omkar. And so, using these mantras, this portion is now being begun. So, this is the first line. Now, why is it said here, Om iti etad aksharam idam sarvam? Om is this, all this which we see is Omkar. So, what is Omkar actually? See, Omkar, first of all, it is Akshara Brahma. Om iti eka aksharam Brahma. It is a single syllable that indicates the absolute truth, imperishable truth. Akshara Brahma. Brahma is biggest, meaning infinite consciousness. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. It is one single. This is the shortest mantra. To whom was this revealed? Omkarasya Brahma Rishihi. Paramatma Devata. To Brahmaji, this Omkar was revealed. Omkar indicates what? Infinite, absolute, pure, imperishable consciousness. And so Omkar is not sound. That is the means to realize that state. Omkar is not sound. Omkar is the state. So we have to know 4 aspects of Omkar. One is the syllable Om. Second is the form that has been created. It is actually a Sagun Nirakar if you say Omkar as a upasana to make the mind quiet using the sound symbol, it is Sagun Nirakar Upasana. Sound is the support, alamban. Like how form is the alamban and name is the alamban. When we say Ram, then Bhagwan Ram's form comes to the mind and the word Ram is there. So Nama and Rupa, they are the alamban. That is called Sagun Sakar. Omkar is Sagun Nirakar, where there is no form. Technically, Omkar does not have a form. It is Sagun Nirakar Upasana, where one has to just focus on the sound and chant Om, 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 and make the mind quiet through that. But some people have, so to some rishis, the form would have got revealed eventually because human mind wants some support. So even the Sagun Nirakar will become, in that sense, Sagun Sakar. So, second is the form aspect. Third is the Omkar indicates the states, waking, dream, deep sleep, and fourth state. And last is the Tattva or the infinite consciousness. Omkar is that Brahman. So, what are the four? One is the alphabet, which is the sound, and one can focus on just the sound. Second is the form. Third is the states. And fourth is the absolute truth, the infinite consciousness, Brahman. Now, in this four things, the absolute state is the highest meaning of Om. That indicates our true self, which is the Atma, which is Brahman, which this Upanishad will reveal through the Mahavakya, I am Atma Brahma. And this sound is the means to make the mind quiet to come to that state. And so Omkar is the goal, ultimate state, ultimate truth, and Omkar is the means also. Means for what? Make the mind single pointed, have the purity, and then contemplate on the Vedantic revelation here and come to realize the state. So this Kathopanishad, Taittiriya Mundakopanishad, different places the glory of Omkar is there as well as the Omkar Upasana is there. Kathopanishad will say, Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Desiring that state, people follow brahmacharya and then they do a lot of tapasya, etc. They chant Omkar and they make the mind single pointed. Mundakopanishad will say, Pranavo dhanahu sharohi atma brahmatal laksham uchyate. Apramattena vedhavyam sharavat tanmayo bhave. Pranava, Omkar is the dhanush. Sharohi Atma. Jiva is the Atma, is the arrow. What is the bow? What is the target? Brahmatal laksham uchyate. Target is Brahman. Apramattena vedhavyam. You aim and shoot with great focus, single pointedness, without any laziness, lethargy. Shoot apramattena with great focus, single pointedness. Sharavat tanmayo bhavet. Like how the arrow will be one with the target, this jiva realize oneness with Brahman. In this, what is Omkar? Means upasana. Brahman is the goal. So understand two levels. Don't get confused. Somewhere it is written as Om is the means, somewhere it is written Om is the goal. It is both. How we use it is up to us. Which is why Omkar Upasana is very subtle. The subtlest mantra is Omkar. Shortest mantra is Omkar. Most powerful mantra is Omkar. And which is why many people will say ki you don't have the adhikar to chant Om. Orthodoxy will say you can't chant Om just like that. Some of the Orthodox scholars, they will also say only sannyasi can chant Om, nobody else can chant Om. Like that, there are opinions. If you want to chant Om, first you have to become adhikari. So add Hari before that, so that you become purified, then you are ready to chant Om. So say Hari Om. So like that, there are different interpretations. But the point is, a lot of people today use this Omkar Upasana to um, just mechanically chant Om and to make the mind quiet, but they will dismiss reality, they will dismiss form, they will say there's no form, there is no God like that, there's only formless truth. And by chanting Om, you will come to realize that formless truth. And so Om, 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 or Om, whichever way you wants to chant, one chants. But it's not only chanting, it's not just the sound. As we saw, four aspects are there to it. And how is it that this Om is all this? This is so gross, tangible, and solid. How can the Upanishad say that Om iti etad aksharam? This akshara Om is all this, idam sarvam. How can all this be Om? Then if I tap here, Om sound should come. Nothing is coming. How is all this Om? Think about that. That is your homework to reflect, and we will continue that in our next class. But today we will stop here. Any questions, you can raise your hand and ask. All right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi Om.